Don in London, hello. It's May 20th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect and never so. So, what is it like today, Wednesday? Well, a bit of sunshine. Here in London it's the Chelsea Flower Show, and I'm not going, but my mother and my sister are, and they will enjoy it. I would have liked to have gone, but it's a little bit outside my price range. Anyway, what's been happening with me last 24 hours, helping one or two people face to face, and also getting to a meeting of AA last night down at Christ Church, which is off the King's Road in Chelsea. It's one of those regulars I go to, and we had no secretary and no chair, but within a few moments somebody volunteered to do the secretarial role, and somebody accepted the opportunity to share their experience, strength and hope for about 10-15 minutes, and then we share back. And the gift is we have this similarity of purpose, one thing, and that's sobriety. So the Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is full of unique, authentic people sharing their experience of how to keep sober one day at a time. And at the beginning of every meeting, even when there's no secretary and no chair apparent, we share this preamble that goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any set denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, even when there are heavy lorries going past and making a hell of a din. And it didn't take long to get the meeting organised, even though there were no sort of officials there, if you like. Although there are no officials, it's just a fellowship. And I keep on emphasising this thing of difference between organisation or fellowship, simply because fellowship has unique, authentic people in it, and people remain unique and authentic on their life journey, if you like. And when we go to a meeting, we find what keeps us sober just on a daily basis, the wisdom to carry on, and the differentiation by trying to make something a lifetime epic and just approaching it as a day at a time is so emphatically necessary, because if we try to do it for the rest of our lives, that is to keep sober, we might find it very, very difficult indeed. Indeed, self-will will fail, because we're not set up to be completely iron and concrete in our will. So willpower is not really what it's all about. It's absolutely about making a choice based on information to hand, and a mind which is cleared somewhat from the awfulness of taking the edge off and then finding oblivion. And that's what drugs do. They take us out of reality. So I'm a fan of reality these days, and I share here different books and different readings. This is the 12 by 12 steps, 12 traditions, as Bill sees it, written by the co-founder, or a collection of work which they developed as a co-founder, and daily reflections, which is the reflections of people who have been in the programme and share their, I suppose, one-day commentary. And at the end of all of this, what do we get? We get a clear idea of what we want, or what we need to be, which is simply sober. So in the programme there are 12 steps and 12 traditions, and it's contained on this little card, available at any meeting of AA, mostly, unless they've run out, because there's been a run on them. And 12 steps of action to change our attitude and behaviour, and 12 traditions to keep the fellowship safe. So the 12 steps are about open, honest and willing endeavour, and the 12 traditions, which hold the fellowship in place, if you like, is all about recovery, unity and service. So step 5, May, is all about sharing our fearless moral inventory with another human being and God or good conscience. So whether you believe in God or not, and I have trouble on a daily basis defining what my belief is, I can be an agnostic atheist or a God believer, depending on what is happening, life experience and seeing reality as it is. I mean, nature is beyond me and beyond description to be defined, and I don't know that we ever will. So, there are bigger forces in this universe than me. So that'll do, and I understand my place in this world. I get born, I live, I die. And what goes beyond that is beyond me. So I'd keep an open mind, hopefully, and I have no problem people finding their own understanding of a higher power. 6.5 billion people on the planet. Each person has got a unique and authentic take with lots of similarities. Otherwise we just wouldn't be here, would we? So for today, daily reflections, May 20th. One day at a time, ironically. Above all, take it one day at a time. That comes from As Bill Sees It, page 11, which was covered some time back by me. Why do I kid myself that I must stay away from a drink only for one day, when I know perfectly well I must never drink again as long as I live? I am not kidding myself, because one day at a time it is probably the only way I can reach the long-range objective of staying sober. If I determine that I shall never drink again as long as I live, I set myself up. How can I be sure I won't drink when I have no idea what the future may hold? On a day-at-a-time basis, I am confident I can stay away from a drink for one day, so I set out with confidence. At the end of the day, I have the reward of achievement. Achievement feels good, and that makes me want more, and want more sobriety, not want more booze. And it's that simple in many ways, but we are complicated people, so we will do lots of bargaining with ourselves, and we want to hang on to some of our outlook which made us feel unhappy, because that's just it. We have ego in us, we have put on a brave face, and we're probably trying to push our fear down so we can just get on. And indeed, it's probably better to have courage, faith and confidence in good conscience or God or whatever it is you feel is right for you. Anyway, coming to As Bill Sees It, this one, it says 2 kinds of pride. The prideful righteousness of good people may often be just as destructive as the glaring sins of those who are supposedly not so good. We love to shout the damaging fact that millions of the good men of religion were still killing one another off in the name of God. This all meant, of course, that we substituted negative for positive thinking. After we came to AA, we had to recognise that this trait had been an ego-feeding proposition. In belabouring the sins of some religious people, we could feel superior to all of them. Moreover, we could avoid looking at some of our own shortcomings. Self-righteousness, the very thing that we had contemptuously condemned in others, was our own besetting evil. This phony form of respectability was our undoing, so far as faith was concerned. But finally, driven to AA, we learned better. And, it's true. The antonym of pride is humility, and humility is about seeing the world as it is in reality. And in this 12-step and 12 tradition book is the summary of what step 5 is all about. So I'll just share it here as I have the time this morning. It says here, step 5, admitting to God, to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 12 steps in total deflate ego. Step 5 is difficult but necessary to sobriety and peace of mind. Confession is an ancient discipline. Without fearless admission of defects, few could stay sober. What do we receive from step 5? Beginning of true kinship with man and God. All good conscience as you understand it. Lose sense of isolation. Receive forgiveness and give it. Learn humility. Gain honesty and realism about ourselves. Necessity for complete honesty. Danger of rationalization, how to choose the person in whom to confide. Results are tranquility and consciousness of God. Oneness with God and man prepares us for the following steps. And so we have then step 6 and 7, which are the somewhat difficult ones. They're not outlined that well in the literature, but I will cover those in the coming months. So for me in all of this, it's really about seeing where we have defects of character. That's overusing our fears, brave facing and ego, and not using our courage, faith and confidence enough. So as we get to the truth, open, honest and willing to face it, which is blinking hard work, because if you've been at it with the booze for a long time, putting filters and denials in the way, or just plain ignorance in my case, then it can be very difficult. So the serenity prayer helps me, and it goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and simply try and do it just one day and know the difference.